So we're looking at some of the big transfer news today. Myself, Bobbie Jackson and James Mason with you. We'll start off talking about Philippe Coutinho because he has been linked once again with a move to the Premier League, James. Of course, at Barcelona now, his time there has not gone as successfully as he would have hoped. He's not really been taken in by the fans. He had been linked previously with a return to Liverpool, but it appears that Manchester City are now leading the way. Manchester United have fallen by the wayside. I mean, lots of big-name clubs here. Is he going to go to any of them?
Potentially. I mean, his time at Barcelona looks to be over, doesn't it? He hasn't really settled in, like you mentioned. Manchester City, I can't see that happening because Pep Guardiola has tried to reduce his spending a little bit, and I don't think he'd be willing to pay over 100 million or whatever Barca. They're trying to recoup basically what they paid for him.
Yeah.
Chelsea is another one, but again, obviously they've sold Eden Hazard. They need someone to come in and replace him. All depends on the transfer window ban, though. If they get that overturned, I think Chelsea probably the best destination, I think, for him to go to. That was Coutinho anyway. Another rumour that is going around is that Aston Villa, one of the newly promoted sides, looking at Brentford winger side Benrahma. Now, he's obviously worked under Dean Smith before, when Smith was at Brentford. There's reports of around £20 million that Brentford are wanting for him. Do you think it'd be a good move?
It's a tough one because it's a lot of money, isn't it, for a player that's untested at a Premier League level, and I think that's going to be the concern for Aston Villa fans. The fact that Dean Smith knows him, though, you obviously have to take that into consideration. He's not going to part with this sort of money, knowing that his budget is going to be restricted for the first year back in the Premier League. So it does seem like a bit of a gamble, but the fact that Smith has that relationship with him, he clearly knows what the player's capable of and feels that he can cut it in the top flight. And I think we are going to see a bit of an influx at Aston Villa. Dean Smith, no doubt, really wants to put his stamp on the side now, having won that promotion. We'll go on to Leicester City and James Maddison because he's been linked with a move away from the King Power Stadium. He only joined from Norwich last summer in a £20 million move. Had a great first season in the Premier League. He's been linked with a few of the big names again, usual suspects, Arsenal, Tottenham, Manchester United, all understood to be keen. He's currently away with England's under-21s at the Euros, and he's actually distanced himself from those rumours. I think the fact that Rodgers is there maybe is tempting him to stay. Yeah,
potentially. I think Rodgers seems like it's a bit of a brighter future at the moment at the King Power Stadium. Whether or not this is building a player up too quickly, because like you said, he only arrived there last summer for 20 million, and now there's rumours of £60 million valuation on him. He had a cracking season, no doubt about that, but I think probably best for Madison would be to stay at Leicester, have another season at least, and then see where he is. If he continues to develop like he has done in the previous campaign, then I think there'll be bigger teams obviously coming in for him, and then maybe he'll make the move. But season coming up, I think he should stay there. That's probably the best move for him. That's the third story then. We'll look at the fourth and final one because it involves Watford. Obviously, they had a good season last time under Javi Gracia. They're apparently looking at West Brom defender Craig Dawson. Now, Dawson has been a stalwart for West Brom really over recent seasons, and he's still got quite a bit in the legs, only 29 years of age. He's meant to be leaving the Hawthorns. He is a good Premier League player. He has shown that in previous seasons. Is he the type of player Watford need?
I think so. I mean, you look at that Watford side and they have got a good core of British players, haven't they? They've obviously got a bit of flair and some talent from across the world as well. But Dawson, I think, fits into that mould. The likes of Troy Deeney and Tom Cleverley and others that keep that feeling close to the fans almost, that they've got that bond, haven't they? And I think he'd be a good sign in the fact, as you say, he's got Premier League experience, he's been there, and he is going to come in and will settle quickly, you'd imagine. If you're going to part with cash for someone to come in at the back, you want to make sure they're up to the job, and I think Dawson would be. Well, that's it from myself and James. Thanks for joining us today for our transfer review. Make sure you do follow us on social media as well and do hit that subscribe button.